Welcome to the conference assistant. You are the first person in this conference. Please stay on the line.
Okay, it is 7, so we will call a meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Secretary, take the roll, please. Any additions, corrections to the minutes of the last meeting?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carried. Public comments and appearances. Is there anybody coming? Yes. Could you state your name, please, and?
Alex Gander, I can speak now, or I don't know, you guys want to go now?
Sure.
Okay. So, my name's Alex Gander, I'm the president of.
Can you hear me? Yep. We're good. My name is Alex Gatner, president of the Charter Captains Association, as some of you may or may not know. I'm here on behalf of the charter fishing community in Port Washington as a representative of all members. First, I wanted to thank Dennis and Lisa for their devoted service to keeping the marina clean, running efficiently and effectively. I'd also like to thank the Harbor Commission for their energy and dedication in overseeing this entity. The reason I'm here is that I would like the Harbor Commission to recall October of 2022 when it was unanimously voted to rescind the $200 slip fee that charters pay on top of private slips. I've been informed that the previous city administrator, Tony Brown, did not present this recommendation to the Finance Committee after it was recommended by the Harbor Commission. I'm aware that the budget for 2025 is set in stone and it has been approved. I just would like to be given the opportunity to have this recommendation made in 2026 based off of the reasonings we had decided back in 22, which we could go over at a later date if you need, and city ordinance, which states that fees and charges are the responsibility of the Harbor Commission. The Board of Harbor Commission shall fix fees and charges for the use of harbor facilities, except such fees shall be subject to be approved by the Common Council. Again, I'm just seeking that recommendation again by the Harbor Commission for 2026 later on when you go down that route, and that actually get presented to the Finance Committee this time and not overlooked. Since 2022, we have also conducted an economic impact study, which brings in north over $3 million per year to the city of Port Washington directly. Upon this recommendation, if it's given, I also would like to seek guidance from the Harbor Commission as to how to get this enacted if it does get approved. As the mission states of the Harbor Commission, you provide oversight for the marina by developing policies and plans that guide the vision, provide fiduciary support, and act as ambassadors of our resources. So I'm asking as you guys have as ambassadors to the harbor to give me a helping hand on how to get that enacted this time if it's voted and recommended. That's all.
Thank you. As you may know, we can't take any action on this tonight, but we have heard you, and we will consider it in the future. Okay? Any other public comments or appearances? Hearing none, we'll move to the financial report. Dennis?
Thank you. Did anybody have any questions on the financials for, they are through October? Did anybody have any questions or all good?
Anything? Anyone? Okay.
Thanks much.
So here, very well. Item 5 is a progress report on Clean Marina grant-funded parking lot design concepts. And Rob is here. Are you prepared to go forward with that?
Cord.
Okay, so earlier this year, the city received a Clean Marina program grant. This is through the Fund for Lake Michigan and Wisconsin Coastal Management, as well as Wisconsin Sea Grant and the University of Wisconsin. This grant is a $35,000 grant to essentially add best management practices to the marina parking lot to reduce pollutant loading into the lake, again, off the parking lot, for whether it's from boats or cars, or even, seagulls, et cetera. So we have been working with Edgewater consultants. You remember they came before the Harbor Commission at your meeting in July, and so since then, we've been working with them, Roger and I, and Lisa and Dennis, of course, on concept plan. So the work that's to be done by Edgewater is to provide concept plans for pollutant control in the parking lot with a full engineering design of the area around the fish cleaning station to control some of the standing pollutants that are entering the lake from the fish cleaning station. It also includes an aquatic invasive species, AIS, as again part of the concept plan. So we hope to be able to build these improvements in the future with grant funding from sources such as the DNR, or again Fund for Lake Michigan, Wisconsin Coastal Management, and the like. So I wanted to give you an update on where we are. The project was supposed to be completed by the end of 2024, where we are getting an extension to the end of January in 25, so just a 1 month extension. But I wanted to I was asked to share with you tonight essentially where we are with these concepts. So, good. All right. So this first concept that we looked at, this was kind of a minimalist approach, and so I'm just kind of going through what they had given us to look at. Not a lot here. Of course, this is the parking lot as it is today. It adds a couple of islands, landscape islands out here and out here, and then a few more, around the perimeter to provide area for drainage. It was something that we didn't feel was impactful enough, and so we did not pursue this any further than the day it was presented to us. So this is the next plan that we looked at here. And so this dark gray area, these are our pervious pavers. So essentially this would be like you see in the Newport Shores parking lot. So essentially that would be in all the parking spaces along the edges. So these green areas, these would be treatment areas, so the water would flow from the pavers into these treatment areas. Now, the thing to note on both sides, again, in this concept plan, they moved the retaining wall on both sides, so we lost the walkway on both sides. So there's a concrete walkway and then the boardwalk. We didn't like that solution either. We felt it was too important to have this concrete walkway, especially along the west side of the parking lot. And so we moved on to our next, okay. And this was one where it's all brick pavers in the parking lot. We felt that this was going to be cost prohibitive. Okay. So moving along, we looked at one, let's see, no, that just shows the flow diagram, okay? I want to get to, okay, here. So we have a couple of preferred solutions that we're looking at more closely. So this first one, we left the retaining wall in place along the west side. We removed the curb, and there would be essentially parking barriers. Using the right, Thanks. So yeah, just wheel stops along here, and then adding dimension here to the vegetated area. So this adds about 33% by creating kind of a triangle look. Let me zoom in on it a little bit so you can see it just a little better. So rather than having just a 3-foot strip along here, by adding this triangle here, you get, like I said, about 33% more area. It does move the retaining wall on the east side. And so this retaining wall that's currently along here would be out essentially so that the walkway would only be the boardwalk along this side. And again, drainage areas on here. And so as it is shown here, the drainage would drain towards the pervious pavers and into the bioswales, okay, where water would be stored and treated in the swales. So this one you might note also adds kind of an articulation to the right now out there, sorry to bounce around, but there's the parking lot has a slight angle in it here that's not reflected in the current design or the current layout of the parking lot. So we were going to take advantage of that and just articulate the parking along with on the east side as well as to reflect what's in the center. So, the estimated cost that they provided for us, again, these are very rough figures, was $2 million. Our original estimate for just resurfacing the parking lot was about $500,000. So we're looking for ways to to trim that cost, and so we looked at two more options. One with only moving the retaining wall over here and keeping this here, but oh wait, oh they didn't. Did they provide it? Did I skip over it, or we didn't? Or they took it out on both sides? No, sorry.
They took it out on both sides, I believe, after our last conversation.
Yeah, okay. Oops, they might not have included that. So, oh, no, he's got, okay, sorry. So this was another, so this was another option that we were looking at here, which was angled parking in order to preserve the, retaining wall in place, to preserve this walkway over here, and to get the same amount of treatment. So we've got the same amount of treatment as, or at least in this area, as the other one, but this one doesn't encroach onto the walkway. The only problem with this one is adding angled parking removes about 20 spots, and that we found, yeah, we have 100, I'm sorry, not 20, well, 25, right? Because I think, am I zeroing in on this right? So the parking counts here are, yeah, or sorry, 140 for car and then 115 for car in the concept. So that was a reduction of 25 spots. So we felt that that was not what we were looking for. So we're focusing mostly on this one here, where we have the retaining wall moved, or one where we don't move the retaining wall at all, and we see how much, treatment we can get just from the brick pavers in the parking lot, and then this bioswale here, and then the minimum amount of bioswale on both the east and west sides. So we're still waiting on the pollutant loading. And I should mention that with this one, we're at roughly the same parking counts with this concept as with the original, the current design. So it actually adds one trailer spot, and then you lose two car parking spots. And I'll zoom in a little bit here. So you might notice that around the fish cleaning station, so this is what they're working on. Final engineering right now is just adding some, a best management practice here. So this would just be a bioswale. There's a stormwater inlet there, so the water would just drain into the permeable pavers and then into the bioswale. And this shows it a little bit better right here. So this is what we're looking at installing as early as next year, depending on the funding. This is right here in A. This is the fish cleaning station, having pervious surface here and then draining to this bioswale here. So that would capture the water that's sitting there constantly now and improve the appearance of the area and treat the stormwater. So we will be taking some soil borings probably in about 2 weeks. We've have a firm hired to come out and take some soil borings to give us a better understanding of the amount of treatment that we can get out of essentially permeating the water into the subsurface. So in a nutshell, I guess we're looking at, this is what they're doing the engineering on right now. This is labeling this as phase one. This will be a full engineered set of drawings, nothing too complicated, but for treatment of the water that's sprayed off of the fish cleaning station, and then looking at, oops, not that one. This one here with moving the retaining wall, so we'd have a buffer area along the east side. And that's one of the things I guess we'd like to get comments back on, whether or not we feel that this is something we'd want to look at further, where we do shrink that walkway, or not, I guess. So, and the engineering will tell us, what benefit we're going to be able to get from either having that bioswale or not having that bioswale. So if we didn't have it, it would look something more like how the west side's represented. And Roger, our city engineer, is here. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, they weren't goals of the project, but they kind of happened as we started moving around. But you can see there's 2 crosswalks across the parking lot. So we have a little bit better pedestrian traffic for people moving across the parking lot right now, where people sort of currently just haphazardly walk across. And we are getting a drop off in front of the north building. You can see 3 spots there. Alternatively, we could add green space there. We could add more concrete if we need more gathering space. But so those are just 2 additional extras that happen to come up.
I know I went through this pretty quickly, but
Yeah, I think,
questions?
I'm curious, what is a bioswale? Is that a tree?
no, no bioswale. So that it would just be a vegetated area. And I'm sorry, I wish I had some of the photographs that they have. So you would have, depending on the space, it's a lot of tall grasses that will have, deep rooted plants that will absorb the runoff. It can be an engineered soil, so you have a special soil that you're added. I don't think they were planning on doing that with this.
We were thinking that we had some sand there.
Yeah, so we're hoping the soil borings indicate that we don't require that. So, but it's a vegetated area that really allows the soil to be pervious, so that when the water gets to it, it can kind of flow through the soil and into the ground.
A swale, I guess, I thought of it as a depression.
It is.
Okay, and then grass in there? Is that what it's going to be?
Yes. Tall grasses or other types of, plants that are suited for a wet environment.
Is it going to be something that requires mowing?
This is something I would anticipate would be probably mowed twice a year.
Okay. And this isn't like anything sticking up, it's just grasses? I mean, it's not like
Well, the grasses are sticking up,
but I mean, it's not like a tree or a bush that sticks up several feet.
no. These are trees represented in the.
Oh, they are trees?
Yes, those are trees. Yep.
What do you mean, the circles?
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of trees are we talking about? Some of these trees, they grow and grow and grow, and they kind of move the concrete around and stuff like that eventually.
Yeah, I
guess
suppose
you'd have
that's
to look at-
possible, right? And we certainly have. We have over 10,000 trees, that line our streets, and so they occasionally they do move the pavement, but these would be in. I think these areas are at least 10 to 16 feet when we were measuring them, and so a pretty decent space for the root system. So, but we haven't. That part of the design would be kind of final engineering, but a healthy tree can absorb quite a bit of water.
So if we're in the areas, if we end up not needing the bioswales at the edge of the parking lot, so like on the east side there where we currently have the retaining wall, would we need to replace the retaining wall if we don't need the bioswale? Because it seems like just a tall curb on either side would probably be adequate. especially with all that extra width for to grade it. They have a slope graded.
Well, let me make sure I understand. I mean, so,
So like immediately north of the Marina building there, if we get rid of that area sidewalk and we're putting all the pedestrian traffic onto the boardwalk area there, you were talking about replacing the retaining wall there. Is the retaining wall still necessary if we don't end up with a bioswale? Because it seems like it
Oh.
would be wide enough that the slope could just come down from the parking lot, that you might have a curb head or something to keep any dirt from coming onto the boardwalk, but
well, right, so this is, I mean, in order to have room for a bioswale, we would need to construct a retaining wall to hold the bioswale. If we don't need if we don't, for some reason, don't require a bioswale there, then we would just leave the status quo, which is essentially the retaining wall where it is, and then there's that 3-foot wide planting area full of junipers. Yeah, junipers.
okay.
Expert.
With these alternatives, does it assume replacing all of the ramps going down from the parking lot, which I believe are steeper than they should be for modern standards?
I would certainly, if we wound up designing this concept, then we would most certainly replace the ramps. If we didn't replace the retaining walls, I know you've pointed that out, that those do not meet code. I would think we would need to address those, yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, actually, I like consensus plan 1. I don't like what it's going to cost, but I like what.
The one we're looking at right now on the
Yes,
screen?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and maybe Lisa or Dennis could speak to it, on the west side, they felt pretty strongly that we should maintain that walkway. I don't know if there's any,
As is.
Yes.
because, here, go ahead.
For maintenance traffic mainly.
And because the area along the charter boats is normally packed full of people, and the guys have their fish there, and that's where they're doing their business. We want to keep the foot traffic off of where our charter captains are doing their business. So we would like to keep that walkway there, that the charter captains have their area for their business, and the general public, along with our golf carts, can use the concrete walkway.
So it's busier than the east side.
Yes, busier than the east side.
Okay.
I do have one more question related to the bioswale on the east side. I believe that all the utilities are buried right under that sidewalk there. Has there been any consideration to relocating those? Because that would be, I know like telephone, electric, and I think the pump out system is all under that sidewalk.
I guess I'm looking at them.
The pump out system is
Yeah,
not under the sidewalk.
It's not under sidewalk? Okay.
But the electrical. and
Electrical
other
is.
stuff
Okay.
What they explained to me was they're able to raise the manholes to the new level of the bump out, and you could still have access to that.
Okay, but if it's a
Equipment.
bioswale and going down, is it deep enough that it would be below the bioswale?
No,
No, okay,
no, it would, in fact, it would be deeper
yeah,
if the bioswale were over it.
okay. So that would all have to be relocated, and that's our utility, so that's our expense too, I assume.
If we had to,
No, I don't think we have, I
we
don't think
wouldn't
you
have to,
have to.
I don't think we'd relocate anything.
No,
Okay,
you still have access.
Yeah.
okay.
In
For
fact,
the
yeah.
manholes that are already there, you just raise them 3-4 feet.
Okay, so the bioswales would be up at the parking lot level, not down?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, okay. All right, well, I don't have any more questions, thank you.
So where do we go from here?
So what is next is, as I mentioned, so we'll be taking the borings and analyzing the soil composition, and then from that, Edgewater will do their stormwater calculations to determine, exactly how much benefit we would get from the pervious pavers, do we need to add more pervious pavers? Can we get away with less? How important are the, the bioswales to, treating runoff? To really see, what value any of these best management practices will provide. Then after that, I mean, it'll be, essentially, I think would inform us on whether or not, I mean, to me, the biggest decision besides, the amount of permeable pavers to add is whether or not we want to give up this walkway on the east side for vegetation. So just to see, whether or not that has the value. And then also, I mean, again, I take your feedback, but, to see what we can get grant funding for, how much grant funding. So, if we can get $2 million in grant funding, that would be something I think we'd take in consideration towards this plan. If we can't, then do we want to look at something less, less encompassing? So I guess there's still quite a few factors, but I guess what I wanted to hear back from the Harbor Commission tonight is just any things that they either really liked or were uncomfortable with, and just so that we could either address it now or, just keep that in mind for the future.
So the plan is still flexible.
Yes, this is right. This is still this is a concept plan. We're under no restrictions, or we don't have to build it. So yeah, we're under no obligation to build what's being designed. We'd like to follow through to add some stormwater treatment to the parking lot, and again, it's going to depend on money and time, but mostly money.
Right.
So, and, essentially, we were happy that by, making the change in the parking lot, you can see that the way the parking lot is configured in this, adds enough spaces that those that you're losing to the vegetation are, make up for it. So, I was very happy to see that we could add vegetation to the parking lot without really losing any spaces.
So then the plan will come back to us sometime in the
Oh, for
future?
sure. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But like if you wanted us to take something further, or you thought we were seriously on the wrong track, I guess that's what we're here tonight to hear back. Or if you have any questions after the meeting or something like that, certainly don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody? Mike?
I do have one more question, so I guess I lied when I say I don't have any more. On the consensus plan, alternative 2, with the angle parking for the car parking area, with it being angled, were those spots long enough that they could be overflow trailer parking, or are they still too short for that?
Oh. Well, so you're saying these in the middle?
These in the middle,
Could
yes.
those be like trailered for days you need trailer?
Yeah, I think they'd have a hard time pulling back out potentially to make the turn, but it's
Yeah,
one of those
you'd be
things
going
that it
against the-
always would be nice to have some spots that are flexible that could be for passenger cars, but also could be trailer parking at times.
Well, I like the idea. I think the problem is, like you're saying, you'd be going against the flow when you exited,
Yeah.
unless you made
Unless
it
you just
reverse.
went
Yeah,
backwards
I
on
got to
it.
think about that. Yeah, I think it would mess up your flow.
Make it all back in spots.
Right, I was thinking of that too. That might get complicated.
Well, typically, if it's a busy day, there's going to be no room there anyway. For trailer parking. That's marina parking tenants. If it's that
Yeah.
busy, there's an overflow in the fishing. It's usually gonna be a weekend, and that lot is full. So it's never been considered for trailer parking. Oh, I had that on, I thought, went off.
Okay.
Anything further? Anybody? Rob, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Move on to item 6, the information on the approved 2025 budget. Dennis or Elise?
Sorry about the late delivery of the 2025 budget. But basically, it's the same as we've done every year, increased what we feel the future is going to require. And if you get time to look at it and have any comments, feel free to raise them. This has been reviewed by the treasurer of the city, so he has made some updates, and nothing significant.
Did we get any feedback from the DNR about raising launch rates?
We haven't applied because we're still thinking about doing that.
So that was gonna be for the 2025 or 2026 season.
26.
Because our budget was already in process when
Yeah.
we discussed that at the last meeting. So prior to the 2026
Didn't-
budget, we'll go through that.
Didn't you have a number that they said was maximum? Yeah, it's a formula based upon what you provide with bathrooms, launch ramps, pump out system. You get credits for so much that you have available, and then they come up with a formula based upon the state fee that's charged for the state parks. So you have to apply for that. We haven't done it.
Okay. Tim, did you get what you needed?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Hearing nothing, then we're going to go to quarter report information, Harbor Commission, another information report, Dennis?
That's on the charter, is that the one we're talking about?
Yes, right.
Well, you've got a copy of that also, which points out basically what we've done in 2024 and our plans. The preceding pages show what we've completed, which is just about everything.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, we can accommodate those.
Anybody have any concerns, questions? Hearing none. Forthcoming events, number 8, Dennis?
I guess the only thing we could think of is the Christmas parade coming on the 7th of December. And the marina will have its famous anchor in the parade again. Famous anchor. That's all that's coming up, besides Thanksgiving, my trip to Florida.
Quiet time at the marina. Okay. Anybody have any concerns? I have nothing on item 9. Members liaisons business.
Master report.
Yeah, the harbor master report should go in there, I guess. Just reporting that all the boats are out safely. We're winterized for the coming events, and one boat is staying in all winter again. And we had a successful year.
It was. There's one sailboat that was on the,
He just extended
channel.
what he thought was going to be nice weather, which didn't turn out so good.
so is he?
He's out of the water now.
Okay. And the other,
He paid transient fees to stay in late.
okay, people can do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
diehards, which is okay.
The other winter tenant decided not to stay?
Yeah, yeah, well,
Yeah, he's putting his boat up for sale.
Oh, okay. All right. Water level, Dennis?
water's down. We are experiencing real low waters in the last couple of weeks. And we just have to wait and see what happens, because normally we'll lose another foot of water over the winter. Don't know what to expect. I guess we need a lot of rain and a lot of snow, which I don't know if we want that or not, but that's what we need.
Well, we had a big drought, I mean, didn't we?
Yeah, that's
This year?
caused a big drop in the water.
You say big drop, how much?
Foot,
Has it really? Wow. But we don't have any concerns with our slips.
no. That's not a problem.
Any questions or concerns for the harbor master? Hearing none, we again are saying, are there any public comments? In other words, is there anything you've heard tonight that you want to comment on? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.